Okay, guys, so this is the King of K-Pop here, answering a question from MsMichelle 103, asking me what's my opinions on K-pop artists versus American artists. Who's better? Who has it harder? And who has it harder in life? Who's more talented? So I thought it was a really good question. So I really should have jotted some of this stuff down, but I'm just going to base it on my head here. So what do I think about K-pop artists versus American artists? One of the things I think what American artists have better than K-pop artists is freedom outside of the music scene. And what I mean by that is an American artist can walk up to Starbucks without being ambushed by fans. You know, they could go to the movies or whatever, or walk in the city somewhere without being ambushed by fans. An American artist can go out on a date with someone, and fans could care less about them going out on a date with someone, or when it's in death threat notes or whatever to whoever they're dating. I think American artists have that better than K-pop artists. With K-pop artists, it's like they're cut off from the world a little bit. They're cut off where they can't really have any type of socialization outside of the music industry. A K-pop artist can't go up to a Starbucks without being ambushed by fans. A K-pop artist can't really go out and experience dating or date anyone because the fans are so overly possessive of them that they'll be sending death threat notes to that person that the artist is dating, and it'll just be a huge, just big ruckus and everything else. And it's kind of unfair for the fans, I think, in my opinion, to be there with the artists, because at the end of the day, they're people just like you and I. They have feelings too. Once this whole music industry stuff is dead and gone by, and their prime in the industry has passed them by, they're gonna have to still live life beyond the music scene. And there are a lot of K-pop artists from the first generation who are still in their mid to late 30s, and they aren't even married yet. I mean, they're just starting dating now for the first time, because when they're in their 18 to 20s, their companies won't allow them to do that. So I think that's what American artists have better over K-pop artists. In terms of who's more talented, I think the talent in both American and K-pop artists is equally the same. The music industry in all the world has the same philosophy of looks first, mediocre voice second. So I think for every J Park, there's a Chris Brown. For every Teen Top, there's a Justin Bieber. For every Gain or Gina, there's a Adele or Lady Gaga. So I think vocal and talent-wise, I think both artists from both countries are equally the same, in my opinion. One of the things I think the K-pop artists, or just K-pop, have better than America is that they always have themes with their music videos. There's always a theme, and their music video in K-pop, their world, it surrounds like fantasy. It's always like fantasy, take you to another world, kind of like thing that they do. With American artists, they really don't focus on themes. It's more of, in order to make my music video, just give me three things: a camera, put me in a club, and hit my music in the background. That's your music video right there for U.S. artists. But for artists in K-pop, it's always different themes, different settings, and different videos, so it's never the same. And I can guarantee about 90% of people who get into K-pop for the first time are those who look at a video first, based off the colors or the different, theme and fantasy that's being set, is what gets them into K-pop before they actually get into the music. I think it's sight first, then listen second. So that's one thing I think K-pop artists have over American artists. Another thing I think is just the quality of music. I mean, I like K-pop music more. I think K-pop music is better. A lot of K-pop music is just, right here, right now, kind of like music, in the next 6 months, you probably won't listen to the same songs you're listening to now. It's very fast-paced. It's still better than what's being put out here in America. Because, in America, the main three subjects in American music is party, sex, drinking. That's it. That's the key ingredient for every song, every genre with music here in America. It's in pop, R&B, hip hop, rock and roll. All the rock's always been talking about sex since the '80s, but still, country, all of that. And when it comes about like sexual stuff, American music is so bad to the point where they actually go into detail and into every act of sexual activity. But with K-pop, it's not like that. K-pop talks about various topics, various things, like what American music used to talk about. And K-pop artists, they can be sexy or have a sexy concept without crossing the borderline, without going too far. You can sit a little kid in front of a K-pop video and they'll be fine. But instead of them in front of an American music video, you might want to have second thoughts about that. In K-pop, they don't have to show everything in order to be deemed a sexy video or sexy. As far as America, well, they show everything pretty much. So that's one of the things I like about K-pop music. I think that's better over American artists is that they don't have to cross the borderline or over the boundary to get their point across on what they're trying to say or what they're trying to do. And I know a lot of American K-pop fans always say K-pop is too cutesy, it's too bubblegum popish, or they should do this, that, they should be more free, this, that, and the other. And I think the K-pop artist, I think it has its good and its bad sides. But for you to say like it's too cutesy and this and that, that's part of their culture. That's part of the Korean culture. They don't emphasize on sex and sexuality in their music heavily like America does so heavily. They don't focus on that. They prefer the clean cut, clean image, and that's what I like. America, I think, takes things a little bit too far in the music videos. But with K-pop, they don't do that. And I think it's kind of ridiculous for some fans to be like so angry with K-pop, like, you must stop this. You must stop being so clean cut and have such a clean image. It's like that's part of their culture, and you will get sexy concepts, like I said, but they never go over the boundary with their stuff. The stuff that they would ban, you will look at the video and say, like, what will make you ban this video? Like, this is nothing compared to what you see in America. But it's just how, tight to keep their stuff meant. Some stuff I don't think needs to be banned or, be deemed unsensible for the young audience. But, there's some structure, in South Korean music. There's structure, And I think with no structure, you're bound to do anything and everything, and you just subject to go off on a rampage. So with Korean music, there's some structure there that I do like. So that's one of the things I think K-pop artists have better than American artists. And one thing I think American artists have better than K-pop artists is the creativity to make their own music, and the creativity to make their own music, and they can go and take a 2-year break before they make another album. K-pop artists can't do that. K-pop artists, they have no say in writing their own material, writing their own music, or having input on the choreography and things of that sort, which I find very odd and strange. Because if you're a musician and you want to become a singer, isn't part of being a singer making your own songs, your own lyrics, singing those, and have some creativity in your profession as an artist? And I just find it very odd that a lot of companies won't allow their artists to be freedom, have that creativity and that freedom, except for YG Entertainment. But you get the gist of what I mean. So I think American artists have that over K-pop artists, and K-pop artists have the need to constantly come out with like 4 or 5 albums in 1 year, because they can't risk taking a year off, because if they do, they risk losing their popularity. And like I said, that's why I think Korea's music market is one of the hardest music markets to thrive in, to be successful in. I think it's really hard. because you have all this, various things going on in it. So, I think that's what American artists have over K-pop artists is, the creativity to make music, and they can have time off to, chill or whatever before they make the next album without worrying, decreasing in popularity. And then lastly but not least, what I like about K-pop artists, I think it's better than America, is that they still do the whole, band member thing. The boy band, girl band thing was a fad and is now dead here in the States and pretty much everywhere else around the music world. But in K-pop, it still thrives. And I think to see that still thriving in this generation is still something appealing to K-pop, that you can still have, the 5, 6, however many members, in a group, have their different talents and personalities, and you bring it together to form this amazing group. I think it shows you the uniqueness and the appeal to K-pop, because they're still doing the whole group thing. I really wish they would have some more successful solo artists. Still, I think this is a good thing that I like over America. And also, like I said again, the music quality. I think K-pop music I like it better than American music. Very few artists here in America I still listen to. I listen to Chris Brown, some Usher. That's just pretty much it. I mean, I listen to some Rihanna, some Drake stuff. That's pretty much it right there. Those 4 artists I just listen to. Other than that, everything else is just pretty much K-pop. And then another thing I do like about K-pop over Americans is that they have a training system where they train their artists in singing and dancing, the whole package. So once they debut, they're like, bam, they're ready. With American artists, there's no training regimen. I mean, either you got it or you don't in terms of dancing wise or whatever. You just sign your name on the dotted line, slap a stamp on that CD, and you're off and making your debut. In terms of dancing wise, you pretty much, if you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. But with K-pop artists, they train them in dancing and other various, aspects in music if they're not talented in that critique. So that's another thing I think K-pop artists have over American artists, which is something I like. So yeah, this is a great question sent in by MsMichelle 103. Let me know what you guys think about this topic in the comment box below, as well as my opinions on this topic in the video. I'll hear your thoughts in the comment box below. Subscribe. Peace.